In this session, we will learn about for loop in details. This is module 2, part 3 of my lecture. I am Konkonjana going to start this session. The first line of the for loop is called the loop header. An integer expression specifies the number of times the loop will be iterated, and the colon ends the loop header. So the loop header is this, and it will be end with this colon. You need to include this integer expression, natural number will be there, and that will be the variable. You must to specify the range from where to where up to where the value will be continue. Python's for loop block or body consists the statement below the header that will be executed till the condition is satisfied. So this is the header, and these are the block of codes that will be executed if this condition is satisfied. The for loop body must be indented. The statements inside the loop body are executed sequentially, one each other. First statement 1 will be executed, then statement 2, and all these statements sequentially will be executed. After reaching to the last statement, suppose that it's statement n, it will be again test for the condition. If the condition is satisfied, then again this body will be executed, and if this is not satisfied, then for block will be exited and will go for other code if it is exist. So it will be better understand. So let's try some example to understand it. First example is, suppose test how many times for is looping. How many times for is looping or executing. Now I will like to code it there. Suppose I have declared a variable. Name of the variable is count, and I have assigned a value 0. Okay. If for is executing, what I have to do? I have to declare a variable that will be incremented when the block is executing. So we can find out the number of times for is looping. Next code will be, suppose n is another variable and it is into the range, and it is in to the range. Suppose this is a static range 1 to 10, and the step value is 2. Okay. Now what I have to do? I have to increment the value of count by 1. Now print this one. Print the value of count. Now print the value of count. Here what will be happened? 1 and the end value will be 10 and it will be step out 2. That means first 1, next 3, 5, 7, like that way. So how many value will be printed there? How many value will be printed there? 10 divided by 2, that is actually equals to 5 times it will be executed. Okay, now run this code and it will be clear to us. Okay, 5 is written there. So how many times it was executed? 5 times it was executed. So this is very simple code, and now you can understand the use of for, how it will be continue. Now next, go for another example. We'll write or we expert in for one by one, and the harder problem or harder example we like to execute and we like to code it. Now suppose I like to add a natural number. A natural number. A natural number. Okay. Add up to a natural number. Add up to n natural number means, that means if you write 12, that means if you put the value of n equals to 12, that means 1 plus 2 plus 3 and that way plus 12, that will be the value. Okay, so this is the problem definitions what I like to do. Now code it. Suppose I have declared another variable. The name of the variable is suppose n, and I casted it to the integer value. It's a prompt for the user. Enter natural positive number. Enter natural positive number. Clear. And n equals to this. So the value inputted by the user will be stored onto the variable n. Clear. Now I like to store this value onto the variable sum n. So initially the value of sum n will be 0. Now one by one I will add the value. One by one I will add the value 1, 2, 3 and it will goes up to n. Okay. So how I will add all this number 1 to n? Another variable I have declared n, that will be in to the range of 1 to n plus 1. Why I have written 1 to n plus 1? Suppose if you written range 1 to n, then what will be happen? That means the value will be from 2, 3 and up to n minus 1. Okay, up to n minus 1. But what you have to do, what your requirement is to add the number from 2 n minus 1 and n. So that why I have mentioned the range here as, so our range will be there n to n plus 1. Clear? Range will be n to 1 to n plus 1. So the logic is clear. Now just you need to add the number. Now put the colon. So this is the loop header. What already I have told you. Loop. This is the loop header. Okay. So in loop header, this is a variable. It will be range in 1 to n plus 1. That means it will be range in 1 to n. Okay. This is the lower limit. This is the lower limit. And this is the upper limit. Here I did not mention the step because one by one, only the one, they will be incremented by 1. Okay. Now I have to store the sum of value within this variable. For first iteration the value will be 1 and sum n plus n, that is 1, will be inserted, to the variable this. That means the value will be inserted onto this variable, and one by one after second iteration, again what was the value of sum of n, that will be stored onto this variable. Okay, so in that way the value, the number 1, 2, 3 and up to n will be added and will be stored onto the variable sum n. Now print out the value of sum n. Now I like to use from onwards format specifier. Why I have used %d? As because %d format specifier is used for the integer type of data. Okay. Now how to append the value, or replace the value of the variable. The value is stored onto the sum n variable. Okay. Now this is about my code. I think logic is clear to you. Oh. Now run this code. So before starting this, just I am telling you, n will store the inputted value by the user. I have initialized the variable sum n to 0. Okay, that means it cannot be contain any value, only 0 will be there. And up to n I need to add the numbers and it will be started from 1. That why I am writing this logic. This is the actual logic. So here the range I have written will help us to make the logic or to get the desired value. Now run this one. Suppose I have entered the number 2. The sum will be 3 as because 1 by the result output will be, if the input is 2, then the output is 3. Why? Because 1 plus 2. Okay. Similarly, again I like to execute this one, and suppose I have entered the value 10. Okay. So natural number up to 10, sum of value will be 55. So I think this is easy to understand. Now again we will go for another example which is more tough than the example 2. So this is our example 3, and what I have to do, find all odd numbers within a range. What you have to do, find all odd numbers within a range. Okay, that means you have to test whether the number is odd or even within this for body or block. Okay, range you need to input, so I like to modify this code. Suppose I have written the start, so I like to write down the start variable lower limit and like to store this value onto the variable sn, enter lower limit, enter lower limit. Okay, similarly I like to write down the another variable whose name is en to store the upper limit of the range. So Sn will store this value, En will store this value, expected value. Now what you have to do? You need to test all the numbers in between that. Okay. So for n in between the range Sn, the starting range, and it will goes up to En plus 1. Okay, En plus 1. That means you will get the value from Sn to En. If you write En, then it will goes up to En minus 1. Clear? The logic is clear. Now what is the condition or mathematical rules to be a number odd? If the number is exactly divisible by 2, if it is completely divisible by 2, what I have written there, n, what is the name of this operator? This is modulo operator. It will produce the remainder value. If it is 0, the value is 0. That means the remainder, if the remainder value is 0, that means it is divisible by 2 and it is even. Otherwise, if it is not completely divisible by 2, that means the remainder will be 1 and it is odd. So that will be our logic. Very simple logic. Okay, now write down the code. Within for loop I have written the code. For if n modulo 2 not equals to 0, then I will print the odd number. Okay, then I will print the odd number, and this is n. Okay, so in that way all odd number will be printed. Clear? Now run this one. Enter lower limit. Suppose I have written 3 and the last value is 10. Suppose upper limit is 10. So these all are the odd numbers in between the range 3 to 10. Okay, now this is very simple example, and here what I have written, I have used another code within the for loop. Next, go for another example again. One by one we will test the for loop applications, and we will execute and we will learn hands-on practical. Now test prime, whether a number is prime or not, that you need to test. What is the logic? Suppose n is the number, natural number. Is this a prime number or not? If it is divisible from the number starting from 2, very simple logic, and up to n minus 1, not possible. If it's divisible, if it is not completely divisible within the number 2, 3 and up to n minus 1, then it will be prime number. That means a prime number only is divisible by 1 and the number itself. So this is the actual logic that I like to implement in our code. Now just take the value into the number n. Integer input, enter a positive natural number to test for prime. I have written there touch casted number. Now I have written there yn equals to 0. For this I have to test it. For n in to the range 2 to n. Here I have written n. Why I have written n? As because I need to divide the number n. It will be started from 2 and will goes up to a minus 1. So 1 by 1 I have to divide with this number. Okay. Now if it is equals to 0, that means exactly it is divisible by this number, then print the value. So what value will be printed? All non-prime number will be printed. If it is divisible, then n printed will be, that means it's have a factor. Okay, now simply I have written here yn equals to 1. I like to cast it. I have cast it to 1. Okay. What about yn? Why I have used yn there? Yn basically is used as a flag. Flag is nothing, just to get a value that will help next time to decide whether the number is prime or not by changing the value of it. Okay, so that will be executed when it is not divisible. It is exactly divisible, so it will not be prime. Now I will write down the last code of block where I have written yn equals to 1. If it is equals to 1, then not prime. Clearly not prime, as because it's have a factor. Okay, print not prime. Okay, else otherwise it is prime. Okay, otherwise this is prime. So I like to test the number whether it is prime or not. Now enter a number. First I have written 8, not prime. Now again run this. Enter a number, suppose 7. So this is prime number. So this is our code to test a number whether it is prime or not. Now we will know about nested for. What is about nested for? Nested for. That means the for within for. Nested if also will call like that way. Okay, for within for, nothing else. That is called a nested for. If within the if, that is called a nested if, and control or conditional statement within this conditional statement is called a nested control or conditional statement. Now just I like to write down the last code, and the example is, this is our 5 example 5 no. Okay, example number 5. Now display all prime numbers within a range. All prime numbers within a range will be displayed. So what is required here? What is the code? Just I am refreshing this code. Suppose this is the lower limit that I like to input. lower limit. Okay, now this is the upper limit. This is the upper limit. Okay, upper limit will be stored onto this variable. Okay, next I have started the loop. This is my first for loop, and n is the value that will get from the lower limit to upper limit. N within the range Sn 2 up to En. Okay, now the next line will be Yn equals to 0. I have assigned the value as like the testing for prime. Okay, now for n in the range 2 to n, here not n plus 1 as because I have to test from 2 to n minus 1. Okay, so now test whether it is prime or not. Okay, modulo n is it equals to 0. Is it equals to 0? If it is equals to 0, that is exactly divisible by 0. So that means it's have a factor, and I have assigned the value 1 onto it. Okay. Now I have to display this value. Okay. Yn equals to this. I have to test with this one. If yn equals to 0, that means the value did not change. When equals to 0, that is it is prime. Equals to 0, then I have to print the number. So this is our logic to find all primes number within a range. Now run this one. Okay, enter the range, suppose 2 to 10. So these all are the prime number. Again execute it. Suppose I have enter 10 and up to 30. These all are the 11, 13, 23, 29. These all are the prime number. Okay, so it's enough about for loop. Already we have learned with many various type of example, and if it is required, more example will be demonstrated later. Thank you for watching.